Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I just thought I'd do a video of showing you guys all my instruments, and yeah, so let's just get right into it. So this is my mom's, I think, second guitar. This thing is actually pretty cool. It is I think it's by Fullerton. I think that's the company name. That's what it says on the headstock, at least. But I did some research a while back ago on this guitar, and I found out that one of the guys that worked at Fender went away from Fender and started his own guitar company in Utah and tried to make basically better Fender guitars. And yeah, and it's kind of different from not a Les Paul, what am I talking about? A normal Stratocaster, like you've got different controls. Like normally there's 3 switches, when here you have this little switch right here. So it's kind of weird, but oh yeah, and you also got the humbucker, which isn't normally on Strats, but yeah. And there's a look at the backside. It's got different headstock from Fender, obviously. Then it's kind of got a different backplate for it. All right. So next up is this. So this is one of my mom's guitars. This is her favorite guitar. It's an Ibanez, and it is my favorite guitar too. And it's probably gonna be with my family for at least till I'm dead. And I love this guitar, many memories, and it's just gorgeous. The neck's really nice, and I love this guitar. And that's also because it's my mom's guitar, and you guys have seen this thing in countless videos. So next up is this. This was the first guitar that my mom bought me. And this is a Epiphone Les Paul, and you guys have seen this thing in countless videos too. And this thing, I've actually done some modifications to it. So originally it didn't have the pick guard and it didn't have the humbucker covers. And I changed it up because I think it looks so much better like this. And yeah, I love this guitar. I'm really grateful I have it. And this was my first guitar. There's the back. And I really like this thing. It's done me solid, and I've actually taken this on a road trip. This is one of the only instruments that I've taken on road trips. Alright, next up is this bass. So this bass, I got this almost 2 years ago. Me and my mom went over to her friend's place, or I guess friends, Mark and Becca, and Mark was in a few bands. He's been in a few bands, and he's mainly the singer, but he's also kind of dabbled in bass. And so I don't know how long ago, but he had a bass player who was a bum. He couldn't afford any instruments or anything like that. And so Mark is a really nice guy, as you'll see in a sec, but Mark got him a whole bunch of shit and basically said, like, hey, I'll get you this, but you gotta pay me back. And the guy never did pay him back because he's a scumbag. And so Mark just held on to all this stuff. And, my mom asked him, because I was starting to get into bass because I'd watched Davey 504 and was starting to get into Primus. And my mom asked him, like, could you go and talk to him about, like, bass and kind of show him the basics. And he just asked my mom, like, or he just told my mom, like, I got this old black bass down in the basement, and if he wants it, it's his. And so my mom said, yeah, I bet he would love that. So he got down, and he showed me to the basement, and he said, hey man, take it. And I'm so freaking grateful for that, because this just, like, I'm so grateful for Mark, because him giving me this bass really cemented me becoming a bass player. And this thing, no, like, no shots to Mark or anything, but it's kind of a piece of shit. But I don't mind that it is a piece of shit because it needs a lot of work done, and I want to do a lot of work to this thing, and so, yeah. But this is a Michelle, I think that's what the brand is called. Sorry if I did not pronounce that right, but I've seen these things in guitar centers everywhere, and they are nice though. It's a 24 fret, and it has some good pickups, but this thing does not work great at all. And so one day when I was in Salem, when I lived there, it just stopped working. No sound from the pickups, nothing. And so, yeah, I just stopped playing it since, and it's just waiting to have work done to it, and so, yeah, but I'm hoping I can fix this up and either give it back to them one day or give this to someone else to cement them playing bass, because I like to put that forward. But yeah, next up is this thing. This is my favorite this is my favorite instrument out of my entire collection. You guys have seen it in countless videos. This is my Squier PJ bass. And this has quite the story to go along with it. And I love this thing. So this was my second bass. My mom got it for me for Christmas of 2022. And yeah, this thing is just awesome. So the whole story of how it happened is we went to Guitar Center maybe on I want to say the 15th, somewhere around there, just so we could see, so she could get me a bass. And so we look around, and I found one that was pretty expensive. It was literally the exact same thing as this, but it was brand new. Man, it was probably like $300, $400. And my mom said no, because we were struggling, she couldn't afford it. And so then I found this thing that was used, and it was only around $150, somewhere around there, 200. It was just somewhere, it was pretty cheap. And I didn't have really any other options, so I just decided to go with this. And when we get to the register, the guy tells us that since this thing was traded in recently, it was on a list, so it had to stay in the store for about 2 weeks so it could be checked if it was stolen or not by law enforcement. And so I had to wait until the 27th, I want to say. And I was so mad. And so, yeah. And I just remember not being able to wait at all. I was so excited to get this thing, and then when I got it, I probably didn't stop playing it until 3 in the morning. But yeah, this thing has been with me through it, man. I think it's done 3 concerts with me so far, just for school stuff. And yeah, it's my favorite. It does suck though, because I think this pickup is going out, which really sucks because this is the pickup I like to use the most. If it was this pickup, I would not be carrying it all, but this pickup is your jazz pickup, and it's what gives you a good slap tone. Alrighty, up next is the Ibanez 6-string that I got for my birthday, for my 15th birthday. My grandparents got it for me. And this thing is awesome, dude. I love this thing. And yeah, it's an Ibanez Sound Gear, I think it is. And yeah, this thing's awesome. It was only $300. So for a 6-string, it's pretty cheap. And I've taken this to school a lot, and everybody's wanted to play it or has just said like nice bass band. And yeah, I think the neck is really cool. I don't know. I think it's made out of maple. The neck, I could be wrong. I know the body's made out of mahogany, though. And so, yeah. All right. Up next is the Ibanez Acoustic. This is one of my favorite basses too. So my mom got this for me for my 15th birthday as well. And so I got 2 basses for my 15th birthday, which was pretty nice. And yeah, originally I was going to get a bass amp, but I decided that having an acoustic bass would be a lot more versatile because this thing is basically a bass with an amplifier in it, acoustic. And so at the time before, we lived in Montana with my cousins, and we couldn't bring the amp along because we didn't have enough space in the car. And so for a while, I was just relying on this little Mustang Micro that just broke, unfortunately. And I also used that to record a lot of videos too. And yeah, I just really missed, I really want an acoustic bass because it just would have been so easy to just whip it out and play. Because we were literally out in the middle of nowhere. We were in a really small town, and Missoula, which was the biggest city nearby, was like an hour or 2 away. And so we were out there, and there was only one grocery store in that town which sold milk for like $15 a gallon or some shit. But yeah, it was crazy. But this bass is actually where I first learned to do this, which has been one thing that I really like to do. And yeah, when we went to Guitar Center, I was looking for an amp, and I just decided to pop in the acoustic room to just see what they had. And this thing was on the wall, and it was just calling my name, and so I picked it up, and I just loved it. There was another one that was inherently a lot nicer, that was also cheaper, that I just didn't like as much, because it didn't, so on the side of the neck, it has this, this white stripe, which I really love on basses, and it also has that on the body. And plus it's black, and black acoustic guitars or basses just look amazing. And so, yeah. And this thing was just calling my name in that store, and so I had to pick it up. And lastly is the BC Rich 5-string. Now this thing also belonged to Mark, and he also got it for that same bass player. And we went over to his house probably in June or something, I think. And it was in the basement, and it never was played before. And so I talked to him, and I said, I was just like, man, that is a really cool 5-string, and this thing is really fun to play, And I just asked him, you think you're gonna hold on to it? And I don't remember how exactly it went, but he said, yeah, no one's gonna play it, you take it. And so, yeah. And also, this is 24 frets, and so I can play Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. And, the other one that Mark gave me is 24 frets, but it doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. And so, yeah, that's my entire instrument collection. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I didn't want to play the instruments because it just would have been a hard video to edit and make, because my editing app, it can only handle a certain length, it can only handle a certain length video. So 20 minutes, it really struggles. And so, yeah, it really sucks. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and peace.